Since ancient times, everyone assumed that having big muscles was necessary to win fights. But what you'll see in this video will show you that, in reality, it's not a determining factor. When an Adonis-like physique faces off against a shorter, chubbier competitor, everyone immediately thinks they know who the winner will be. But a secret weapon can change everything. Stay tuned until the end to discover what it was. Content Ruiz versus Joshua. It was June 1st, 2019 when Andy Ruiz faced his destiny and stepped forward to challenge the undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion, Anthony Joshua. At the time, Anthony Joshua was cementing himself as one of the best heavyweights of his generation, with victories that not only made an impact in the moment, but also defined the decade. On the other end of the spectrum, literally in every sense, stood Andy Ruiz. To the general public, Ruiz was a complete unknown at the time, despite coming off a solid win against Dimitrenko. Ruiz was an aggressive fighter with good movement, unafraid to openly express his love for snacks. When it was announced he would face Joshua, criticism rained down. To many, the fat kid would be easy prey for the champion. After all, Joshua was a formidable figure. Not only was he the undisputed champion, but he had also been an undefeated Olympic champion, with his heavy hands paving the way to a record of 22 wins, 21 of which ended prematurely via the painful route of knockout. His list of victims included big names like Klitschko, Dillian Whyte, and Joseph Parker. Looking back at his career, there was no doubt he was a colossal giant who seemed unstoppable. That's why no one believed in the unknown fat kid Andy Ruiz. But what they didn't know was that Ruiz possessed a power that very few are naturally gifted with: the power of Aztec blood. The strength of hundreds of thousands of warriors coursing through the veins of a single fighter, capable of flipping the outcome of any match as easily as flipping a tortilla. When the time came, Anthony Joshua was celebrating his first fight in the United States of America. He knew he couldn't mess it up. It was neither the time nor the place. Having always fought in the United Kingdom, Joshua's team wanted to secure him an easy win by pairing him with the softest opponent for his debut on American soil. But as the saying goes, lazy work means double the effort. What could have been an easy fight turned into the worst nightmare for any debutante fighting outside their homeland. Ruiz wasn't leaving anything to chance. He publicly admitted that he prepared like never before for this fight. For him, putting on a good performance meant leaving an indelible mark on the modern history of boxing, setting a turning point in his professional career. Summary of the fight. From the opening bell, it was Ruiz who dictated the exchanges in the fight. He stayed at the forefront, ready to battle. From Anthony Joshua's perspective, two key takeaways emerged. 1. Underestimation. He underestimated Ruiz and failed to take control of the fight early. 2. Overcalculation. He spent too much time analyzing Ruiz's style before unleashing his heavy artillery. When Joshua finally turned up the intensity, the expected happened. The fat guy hit the canvas. A strong right hook briefly shut down Ruiz's defenses, forcing him to take a seat.
Great. Ruiz mixes it up. Good uppercut and a hook. Puts Ruiz down.
For Joshua's corner, the plan seemed to be working perfectly. They likely believed Ruiz wouldn't last another minute. But they were wrong. Joshua attacked to finish him, but Ruiz defended with deadly precision. Suddenly, it was Anthony Joshua who hit the canvas.
Everything right. Ruiz comes to fire back, and Joshua's hurt. Oh,
This shocking moment was one of the most incredible surprises in recent boxing history. Joshua, for the first time in his career, was knocked down. Joshua must have wrestled with disbelief, questioning how he could have been floored by someone like Andy Ruiz. But there was no time for self-reflection as Ruiz relentlessly pursued him. Ruiz's offense shifted from questionable to absolutely lethal, cornering Joshua against the ropes. After a ferocious barrage, arguably Ruiz's best shots of the fight, Joshua went down for the second time. This time, Joshua's legs seemed disconnected from his brain as he struggled to respond and stand.
shaky legs. 140 seconds of Andy Ruiz's career. And there is 40-plus seconds. These are the most important. Joshua hurt in the corner. John are wary, but Sergio, you thought this was a big chance, and now here comes Ruiz. Joshua is hurt, he's staggered, and he goes down again.
By the fourth round, Joshua was already doubting if he was truly the celebrated fighter everyone believed him to be. Ruiz, meanwhile, was the clear predator, while Joshua struggled not to become his prey. By the end of that round, it was clear Joshua wasn't at his best, while Ruiz was delivering the performance of a lifetime. Surprisingly, Ruiz's energy only seemed to grow with each passing round. Having figured out Joshua's style and sensing his vulnerability, Ruiz pressed his advantage. Joshua's large frame was no longer cooperating with him, while Ruiz's confidence and dominance soared.
Say it about Andy Ruiz as well. Ruiz, right hand by Ruiz.
For the 6th round, the outlook only darkened for the European fighter. After a deadly barrage of punches, Joshua hit the canvas again.
That hook, almost landing in the right hands from Ruiz, and now a barrage.
Anthony Joshua threw one punch, and that was at the very end.
And Sam's in trouble.
During the referee's count, his facial expressions made his psychological defeat evident. Though his body remained in the fight, his fighting spirit had left him minutes earlier. Ruiz still had to crack through Joshua's tough exterior to secure an early victory, avoiding the risk of leaving the outcome in the hands of the judges, who might view the fight differently. Following a 4th knockdown, Ruiz ran around the ring like an incredulous child.
Oh, with the hard jab. Trying to answer, but he's taking his down again. Mouthpiece came flying out of his mouth. Sick. Wow. Joshua looks gassed.
Joshua got up at the count of 7, but he was utterly exhausted. He lifted his gaze only to see his fans staring back at him as he suffered defeat. A true nightmare. By the 7th round, the underestimated Andy Ruiz claimed his first world championship, becoming the first Mexican-American heavyweight champion in history. Once again, the power of Aztec blood granted a tricolor warrior the strength to overcome an obstacle that had seemed virtually impossible. Tons. Per closing. If you've made it this far, thank you. Remember, the best way to support my content is by leaving a like on the video. What do you think happened to Anthony Joshua in this fight? Was the balance always tipped in Andy Ruiz's favor, or was it only in the final moments that fickle destiny decided the outcome of this contest? I'll see your thoughts in the comments.